guys, what's going on? So today I am cozying up and talking about my bedtime book tag, and I was tagged by Alexa Reads Books. I'm gonna put the link to her YouTube channel below. So essentially this tag is just like a few questions that have to do with bedtime. It's only 12:30 and I'm already thinking about bedtime, so this is a very appropriate tag for me today. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So the first question in my bedtime book tag video is, what book kept you up all night reading? And to answer this question, I have chosen Cress by Marissa Meyer. This is the third book in the Lunar Chronicles series. This book was absolutely fantastic for me. I loved Cinder, I was okay with Scarlet, but Cress was just like everything. The characters, the plot, just the themes, everything going on in this book was just like, I could not put it down. I stayed up for hours and hours into the night reading it. If you don't know this series, it's basically like a sci-fi take on traditional fairy tales. There's a plague, there's war, there's like people living on the moon trying to invade Earth, and it's just like an unreal read. Question number 2 in the bedtime book tag is, what book made you scared to go to sleep? And I actually don't really have a book answer for this because books tend to not scare me that much. I have yet to read a book that has kept me up for hours, and I'm gonna ask you guys for recommendations with this actually, because I want to challenge you. You should recommend a book that you think will scare me to the point where I won't be able to sleep. So put those answers down in the comments. I want to see them. Number 3 is, what book almost put you to sleep? This is kind of a funny question for me because I can fall asleep reading any book. Like, if I'm tired enough, I'll conk out reading the most exciting book in existence. There is one series that I just want to highlight that was like super boring for me and would definitely be in the category of lulling me to sleep because they're so terrible. That is the Left Behind series, and I don't have them on me, but I believe the authors are like Jerry B. Jenkins and some other guy. This is a series that's based on the book of Revelation in the Bible, so basically the end times as told by the Bible. And for those of you that don't know, the book of Revelation is like super, like, there's a lot of symbolism, there's a lot of like weird messed up things going on, and these books kind of, I like them because they bring a little bit of clarity to the biblical end times prophecies. Like, you sort of have a clearer picture of what the Bible is trying to say. But these books, it's so clear that these two, like, their series just took off and got popular, and they dragged it out as long as they possibly could. They milked this thing hardcore, man. They just like beat this dead horse with so many sticks. These books were just like awful. The writing was awful. The characters were flat. I've never read a book with such flat characters. Like, every character was cut out of the exact same mold. There were at least 15 books, and I didn't even read like the prequels or it's just no. On a more positive note, number 4 is, what book had you tossing and turning for its release? For this, I picked Allegiant by Veronica Roth. I read Divergent and Insurgent before Allegiant came out, and so I had the wonderful and terrible anticipation for the third book release, and to me, it was worth it. I really like this book. I like the ending. I know there's a lot of controversy, a lot of mixed opinions about it, but it was worth the wait to me. Number 5 is, what book has your dream boyfriend or girlfriend? For this one, I'm going to go with Augustus Waters from The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I love Augustus Waters for so many reasons. He's creative, he's cute, he's funny, he's poetic, he's adventurous, he's just like everything. He's just like out of the box, he thinks differently, he's caring, he's sweet, he's thoughtful, he's surprising. Like, you never know what to expect. He keeps Hazel Grace on her toes the whole time, and it's just like, he's incredible. He's just so cute. Number 6 is, what book world would be your worst nightmare to live in? And I'm thinking a little bit out of the box and different with this one. I'm gonna go with Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. And this is a little bit weird because this is actually just like real life stuff. Like, this is our world, but back in the 1800s. Reading about this and about how like women are expected to behave back then is just like, oh, it's awful. It's like a nightmare for me. They're expected to just like put on a show for men, essentially. They have to wear like corsets, they have to like eat prior to going to barbecues so that men don't think that they're pigs when they're eating lunch. If you get married to a man and he dies, you have to go into a period of 3 years of mourning where you have to wear all black, you have to wear a veil, and you're essentially basically not allowed to interact with the opposite sex at all for 3 years. It's insane. Women, everything they did centered around impressing men and getting a husband and bearing children. Like, that's all they were for. So I'm just very thankful that I live nowadays, and it's just been an interesting read for me, discovering what women in other times had to go through. And then like in this whole time period, like with the war and like basically they're losing everything and everything costs like an insane amount of money. They had to basically wear like burlap and newspaper to keep themselves warm, and it's just like, overall, this is a nightmarish time period that I am not interested in being a part of at all. Number 7 is what book cover reminds you of nighttime, and for that one I chose House by Ted Dekker and Frank Peretti, and this one obviously is a nighttime cover. Like, it's creepy. It's creepy nighttime, but nighttime nonetheless. This book is just your traditional horror story. These people's cars break down in the middle of the woods, and they end up going to the closest house for help, and they basically get trapped inside because of all these weird, bizarre, haunting, supernatural circumstances. It is quite the read. I actually really like it, and the best part is it's like co-written by my 2 favorite authors. All right, so that is pretty much it for the bedtime book tag. The last question is, who do you tag? And for this one, I'm going to only tag 2 people. I'm going to tag my friends at Blabberon and Bookish Brain Clutter. And of course, as usual with my book tags, I also tag all of you guys. If any of you guys want to do this book tag and you haven't been officially tagged, I tag you. Give me a shout out in the comments below, put your link to your video down below, or just like talk to me about the books that I've discussed here. Give me a shout out on Twitter. I'll put all my information below for you. Let's just get talking about books. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We will see you next time. Bye.